So we are in our first hip opening session that I do. Takes about 10 minutes. And I first just kind of do a forward fold. And in the forward fold, we're just going to try to breathe here. Make sure you're folding from your hip, not your stomach area. And just kind of loosen yourself a little bit here. Go further and further down. Make sure when you breathe in, you're going to do a half forward fold. And then now I'm slowly going to go into my hip, where I try to open my hips a little bit. And I just lean into it a little bit and then come back out of it and then go back into my forward fold here. We're going to open our body up on each side. And we're just allowing the mind-body connection here to continue. And just try to stretch as far down as you can. Come all the way up, arch your back, and release. All right, we're going to go into our lunges here. And we're going to do both sides. So I'm just going into my lunge, and as you see, I'm just kind of slowly opening up my hips here, kind of pressing into the floor, and I'm going to go into my triangle pose. And here I'm just kind of showing you my feet placement. If you can, try to get both of your heels on the floor at the same time. And when you're ready, forehead to your knee. And just feel your body, okay? Now we're going to go all the way to the floor. Put that right knee down. Open your body up on both sides. Sorry, the camera cut me off, but we're still going to open our body up and feel that stretch on both sides. This is really good for your digestive system. And then we're going to slowly go into a pigeon pose here. And if you're a beginner, mid-level, or advanced, no matter what, I use my blocks. So you'll see me break out my blocks from time to time. And here I'm using my blocks so I can make sure my hips are square and I can sit up as much as possibly can. This is a very good hip opener. And it's really good for your lower back as well. Okay. And we're going to slowly come out of that. Tuck your toes under and go into a downward dog. Stretch it out on both sides for this downward dog. Then we're going to go into three-legged dog. Okay, pull it in and go into your lunge again. When you find your balance, go into warrior one. Okay, and I'm just pulsing here. Going into warrior two, flow into three. And we're just going to open our body on both sides, swing it all the way back down to the floor into your lunge. Go into downward dog. Okay, three-legged dog on the right side. Pull it through and into our lunge. When you find your balance, we're going to go up into warrior one. Okay, now we're going to go into warrior two. And then let's flow into three. And then just open our body back up. All that. Stretch that out. And back into warrior one. Down to the lunge. Put that left knee down and toe down. Okay, now I'm doing a little bit of a lizard pose here. This is very good for your hips, the lizard pose. And I'm going to open my body up as well. Twist that body, stretch that back. And from the lizard pose, we're going to go into our pigeon on this side. And as you see, I kind of shifted my feet over that way to get into pigeon pose. And then I'm using my blocks as well to make sure my hips are balanced. And just take a couple breaths here as long as you want. Yeah, my dog wants to do yoga with me. He's always around. And just take as many breaths here. If you want, you can go all the way to the floor. And I'm just coming out of it, going into my downward dog. I feel a little bit looser here, I can definitely tell. And then I'm gonna go into my waves, where I'm gonna go into part of a plank and then bend my knees and then come all the way back out. And then we're gonna go into chaturanga, upward facing dog. And just let your hips kind of hang right here, because listen, you should be loose, a little bit loose by now, just a little bit. Tuck your toes under, go back into downward dog. And we're gonna go on to all fours and do a couple of cat-cows. And this is a really quick yoga hip opening routine that I do. Now I'm gonna do a little bit more hip opening because I sit all day. I'm just gonna do the middle hip, where I spread my legs as far as I can and just kind of lean forward. I should have showed you on the other side, but just lean as far as you can, and you should be able to feel this in your hips. So you can go on your all fours, or you can just stand up like I am right here. And then I am going to kick one leg out and keep one knee, and make sure you're balanced here, and just feel that difference. Again, go all the way to the floor on your elbows, or if you need to just stand up with your hands to the floor, that's fine. Okay, you should feel this in your hips as I'm rocking back and forth a little bit, opening up different hip flexors. Listen, this is more, yoga is more than just doing poses. It's mobility. You have different tendons, different hip flexors and tendons, not just muscles in your body. And as we age, if whatever you don't use, you will lose. So you have to work that out. You have to stretch those out. And this is what I am doing. I am 46 and I am trying to be as mobile as possible for the rest of my life. And if this is what I have to do, that's what I'm going to do. Right? So I just shifted sides. I'm doing the same thing on the opposite side. What you do to one side, you need to do to the opposite. Again, I'm just rocking back and forth a little bit here, feeling the difference in my hips. All right. Now I'm just going to come all the way up on that leg. Go into my triangle forward fold from here. And I'm just going to lower on that one side, lower down. You should feel that stretch. Now, this is mobility moves. Do it extremely slow. Feel that mind-body connection. And then I'm just putting that knee down, pushing my hips forward. You'll feel that in your hips. Opposite side, put that knee down, pull your hips forward. I put my hands up so it makes me pull my hips forward. Back into that wide leg forward fold, and I'm just pushing myself as far down as I can. I am working on some headstands here, so this really helps me, and I'm going to show you from the opposite side. Okay, so here, this is how I am. I know that I'm kind of a little loose. I can get into my crow. So if you don't know how to do crow, that's a different video, but I just try to get into my crow because this is one of the moves that I've been working on recently. It helps with my abs and my balance. So I just practice it a couple times. And once I get it down, so I can hold it for a couple of breaths, 5 breaths, 6 breaths, then I'm good to go. Again, a quick little yoga routine. This was only like 15-20 minutes. You can go longer. This is how your yoga class can go as long as possible. But I never in any yoga stretch or work out without going into my root chakra pose. And right here, I'm just doing the same thing I did before, putting that knee on the floor, pushing your hips up forward. You'll feel that right there in the front of your hip flexors. And I'm trying to balance. Grab my toes, push all the way up into a forward fold. Feel that looseness. Just let your body hang. Okay. And then we're going to come all the way up, arch our back, and release. Thank your body. Namaste.